Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Rifleman. Please excuse my voice. I'm just getting over a cold. Also, excuse the sound of dripping water. That's snow melting off of my snowblower. This is just going to be a quick and dirty video. I'm just a little bit disheartened. I don't understand why this keeps happening. I keep buying guns and gun parts that come brand new from the manufacturer with really pretty glaring quality control issues. This, as you can see, is an AR15 bolt carrier group. It's made by AO Precision. It's meant to be mil spec. It is a mil spec bolt carrier group. And AO Precision produces bolt carrier groups for FN USA, among others. They're an OEM manufacturer for a lot of high-end rifle companies. And this, again, is supposed to be a mil-spec bolt carrier group. As you can see, the gas key is on straight. It's well staked. I don't see any problems there. Being mil-spec, it's phosphate coated. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but the bore of the bolt carrier is hard chromed. The bore of the gas key is hard chromed. That all looks pretty good. The fit and finish is nothing to write home about, but it's what you would expect from a mil-spec bolt carrier. The rest of the parts look pretty good. The extractor spring looks fine. It's got one of those little black rubber donuts on there to help with extraction. The firing pin is a firing pin. These other various pins are fine. Now, AO Precision touts on their website about all of the testing that they do. And you can see here, it's high pressure tested, magnetic particle inspected. These are supposed to be held to the same standard. Oh, and there's a toad also in my shop, which is singing because of the fresh water that's dripping down. So you might hear that as well. But they go on and on and on their website about how they do all of this incredible QC and testing. Each bolt is test fired, obviously, since it has high pressure test marks on it. But how this bolt could have gotten out of AO Precision, and I just took this out of the mailbox like, 30 minutes ago or so. It's brand new. I just cut it out of the factory packaging. You can see there's absolutely no wear on the bolt lugs. But how this could have made it out of the factory, I have no idea. When I first received the bolt, I worked the bolt in and out of the carrier a little bit, and I could feel it was sort of hitching. It didn't feel quite right, so I disassembled the bolt carrier. And can you spot what is wrong with it? I mean, anyone who's graduated from boot camp or AIT should be able to immediately spot what's wrong with this bolt carrier group. The people working at the factory, I don't care how lackadaisical you are or tired or hungover on a Monday morning or something, should have noticed this right out the gate. I spotted the problem with this bolt immediately as soon as I pulled it out of the bolt carrier. And of course, many of you have already noticed there's only 2 gas rings on here, and they're deformed. That's why it was hitching when I was pushing it in and out. Without the 3rd gas ring to support the other 2, they've gotten sort of deformed and mushed up. You can see this one's kind of weird looking. This is what a proper bolt should look like. This is out of my parts bin. This is actually not the greatest. I don't even know who made this bolt. It's not the greatest one in the world. It's got weird burrs and stuff on it, but it's got 3 gas rings, just like a bolt is supposed to have. And for all of the crowing that AO Precision does about their testing and their quality control, it's like their big selling point. How this could have been assembled into a bolt carrier and sent out to a customer is beyond my comprehension. It really is. And, it's not just AO Precision. It's not just Smith & Wesson. This seems to be an epidemic. And it's really making me very skeptical about buying any new stuff, at least from American manufacturers. I've had better luck with imported things, like my new Inglis High Power, which was manufactured in Turkey. Seems absolutely flawless. And this is supposed to be a high-end, mil-spec, battle-ready bolt carrier group, and this would absolutely not function. There's no way with two malformed gas rings on there that this bolt would have worked if I'd have put it in a rifle. And if it was in a very critical circumstance where I didn't have time to take the bolt carrier group apart and take a close look at it, I might not have known that there were only two gas rings in here. There would have been so much gas blow by. I very, very highly doubt that this would work the way it came from the factory. And it's just very disappointing. Here's a bolt, probably 15 or 20 years old, perfectly fine, and used. As you can see, there's wear on the bolt lugs. This has definitely been around some. But here's one brand new, which is supposed to be of top quality. This is a Carpenter 158 bolt head. All the other parts, the key, the carrier, the extractor are all made from the correct alloys. And you expect when you buy something like this that it's going to work. And this clearly would not. Now, I'm not going to mention the online seller that I bought this from. I did contact them. They said, or the young lady that I spoke with said they're going to send me the missing part. Now, does that mean they're going to send me one single gas ring? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I can report back if anybody's interested. And this is not a huge problem. Knowing that this is the way it is, I have spare sets of gas rings. I can fix this in 5 minutes, but I shouldn't have to. And for a company like AO Precision that goes on and on and on about their quality control and all the testing they do and how everything is individually tested, this clearly was not individually tested, because there's no way that this BCG would have worked the way it's set up here. And if it did, it would probably do damage to the bolt or the inside of the bolt carrier group. So, I don't know. I guess this isn't the most lighthearted episode ever, but this is not something, and you don't have to be a gunsmith, you don't have to be a master armorer. This is not something you need gauges and all kinds of specialized tools to discover. I mean, it's right there. Anybody who has had any level of military training on the M16 knows about the gas rings. And if they had very simply function tested this just by pulling the bolt in and out before putting it in the box, this would have been discovered. So anyway, hopefully I'll have a somewhat more upbeat video for you next time, but I just wanted to let people know about this in case you were thinking about buying one of these BCGs. And I'm not saying that you're going to get one that's defective, but nobody should get, or a very small percentage of people should get something like this that's got a glaring quality control issue. And yet it seems to be happening, at least to me, more and more and more often. It's almost every single time I buy gun parts or guns from American manufacturers, they just aren't right. So hopefully we get this turned around in the future. I really don't want to give up on the American firearms industry, but it really seems like they're phoning it in recently. So I'm going to get this edited and posted up and start working on hopefully something a little more upbeat. And when I do that, I hope to see each of you then. Later, guys.